Okay, so we got it stripped out and separated, and here's the 24 gauge solid copper conductors that we're going to use to connect to the LEDs. It is color coded. It's the color code that the telephone company uses. It's blue, orange, green, brown, slate. I don't know why I said 14 gauge. It's 24 gauge. 24 gauge solid wire on the telephone wire. So that's all the IC board wiring. The only thing to do now is I'm going to put the potentiometer in. So we're going to go ahead and pre-tin these leads. The potentiometer is going to sit in the board, so I want to connect the leads first. We're going to put a little rosin on there, a little extra help it flow. And we should be able to put pin, look at the chart over there, we're going to put pin 7 to the wiper and pin 6 to whatever side's closest. It doesn't matter on this one. So this is pin 7 to the wiper. Let that cool for a second, and then we're going to put pin 6 to the closest. Actually, I need a little bit of a bend on that. That loud bang was the weights falling off of my solder holder. You can watch me struggling with this connection. It's a tough one. Okay, that's a very poor connection. A little flux on there. Okay, that's the potentiometer. And one of the challenges we have is having only one eye. Depth perception is very, very difficult. Check the connections. You always have to double check your work and go and re-inspect just to make sure everything is just perfect. Now with these extra long legs on this particular potentiometer, this is a nice one. I don't know where I got it, but it is a nice one. Should fit right in there. And we don't need to do any pre-tinning on this. Just going to put a big glob of it on there. Hold it down nice and snug. And I'm using this alligator clip as a sort of a heat sink. Put a little bit on the back side there, being careful not to touch the other leg and unsoldering it. I love that rosin smoke. And got it that time. Okay, so that's it for the wiring. I'm thinking about putting the chips in, but before I put the chips in and see how everything fits, and I can use a normally open button to test the circuit, I'm going to connect the wiring for all the halo bulbs. Two sets of halo bulbs. First set's on the front of the clock face, and the second set's going to be mounted to the back. And these are going to be ultraviolet, going to be always on. They're not going to be smart, not going to be connected to anything. It's going to give that ultraviolet glow in the back. Put a switch down at the bottom on off. And then the lights should rotate, if I did it correctly. To do that, we're going to use a 25K telephone cable. I think it's 14. I'm not really sure what the gauge is. Small enough. And it's color coded. So I happen to know the color code. I memorized it. So I can go ahead and wire in all 25 conductors, leave them long, mount the board to the sculpture, and then I can wire the backs of the lamps after everything is done and I don't have to worry about disturbing the board again. That's the next things we're going to do. And that's it for now.